Jane. This is me. And this is my husband Neill, sleeping on the job. This is our second day of travelling. Yesterday we travelled from Ulm to Günzburg. Our plan over a period of about 10 days is to travel from Ulm all the way through to Regensburg. Today is an almost 27-mile ride from Günzburg to Höchstädt an der Donau. You may ask, why did we pick this route? Well, we're a little older. We're not overly fit, although we do cycle, but not that frequently. And we needed something that was manageable. So I picked a route that was predominantly flat. If anything, very slightly downhill from our start in Ulm to Regensburg. I wanted the experience to be positive, something that we could manage. And so therefore the distances we chose were also very, very reasonable distances to try. Our first day, I think we cycled about 15 miles. Many of the other days we travelled about 20 miles, but never more than 30. So I wanted something that was very manageable for us to accomplish and also enjoy without huge hills, although there were one or two. But on the whole, it was fairly flat and fairly manageable for a pair of old farts.
So this is Catholic Church, I believe. Pfarrkirche St. Sixtus, Reisenberg. And it was interesting, when we were in there and they were ringing the bell, they've just stopped. You could hear the thunk, thunk, thunk above the ceiling when bells were ringing. Very interesting. And I wonder whether the cyclist who came in was the organist, because he went up to the organ loft. So we were aiming for this castle and didn't know quite whether it was worth visiting or whether you could get in. And it turned out to be a satellite campus of the University of Ulm. So it was very pretty. Riding along the Danube. Pause at the side of the Danube, and I forgot to say this is actually day 2, second day of cycling, so this is still all very new to us. We're on the cycle path beside the Danube, and we've seen a high-speed ice train. I don't know whether you can see that. You probably can't, but there's the tail fins of some really large fish. I think they're carp, some sort of carp. There's quite a few of them in the river, right by where we are. And you might be able to see the swirls just in front of where Neill is, but they're big. They're about 1.5 foot, 2 foot long, and they look to be about 4 inches fat. And in the distance, Neill says to run away. In the distance, at the end of where that river, where the Danube disappears, just above on the hill, you can see the castle that we cycled around the outside of, and it's part of the University of Ulm in Reisenberg, I think it was. This is gorgeous. We've been cycling along. Oh, there's some more of those big fish there. You probably can't see it, but they are big. Yeah, that guy's a good 2 foot long. And this must be, there's Neill. One of the locks, because you can go inside the lock as the Danube goes down, so it's slightly going downhill. But we've been cycling along, and I know this side's been mowed, but you can see the flowers there, and there are butterflies, and as we're cycling along, I mean, it's just lovely. You can hear the birds tweeting. You've got the flowers at the side of the road, the wildflowers, and there'd be more a bit further back on the path. And as we cycle along, the butterflies just pop up from the flowers. It's really, really nice. Very relaxing.
And that's an intercity flying past.
Hello.
Hello. I love the sense of being close to nature, of feeling away from everything and yet actually not being that far away from civilization. The peace was just wonderful, absolutely wonderful. So my route planning had been going really well until it wasn't. I'd figured by looking at the map there was something we couldn't cross, a stream that crossed the path, and we had to duck in and follow this little side path. It didn't work out quite as I'd planned. We ended up pushing our bikes. You couldn't ride it. It was very overgrown. We were scraped and scratched, but we got through eventually. It wasn't ideal, but we made it.
Interesting views down there too. It's very hot. Okay, curious place. We're going to go back up to the main street and see if we can find somewhere for lunch. Lauingen.
So as you can see, Lauingen was really beautiful. So we stopped actually at a grocery store, grabbed a sandwich, some cake and a can of pop, and then we were back on our way. So we had a bit of a challenge to get past these guys. I had to whistle them, and he was laughing, saying I was whistling to him like his dog, like he whistles to his dog. But it was a tight squeezing through there, and certainly it's not something I wanted to do while they were still lifting, but thankfully they stopped and let us wiggle round the sides. Whew. Nice to be in the woods though, some shade.
This is Dillinger. Oh, sorry, this is shaking. This is very bumpy. Oh wow! You look left and right. You look behind you too. I think they're both worth a visit. We'll investigate that. And then we'll go investigate that church down the alley. Beautiful.
So the place behind me is the finance department. Plenty of money there. Okay. Finanzamt Dillingen, Finanzamt München.
Oh, and a stalk up on the roof, there's a nest. 2 stalks.
And now I think we'll actually head back to the other side of the crossroads where we saw that church. Yeah, just this one.
Oh, that's interesting. Very, very interesting. So it has a sticker, Gegen Nazis, Antifa area, on the side for Mitteltor. Considering this is only, 20 miles away from Günzburg, where the Joseph Mengele and his family were from. Beautiful part of the world.
Is it too bloody hot? Put your thoughts in the comments below.
See if I can get in there.
After visiting this church, I pop next door, just in the corner of the courtyard, to the smaller church that's no less spectacular. You have to see this, so beautiful, so ornate, and you have to look at the ceilings. I mean, that's the bit that got me. These ceilings are just phenomenal, and this one I think is the pièce de la résistance. Okay, pausing in the shade. Not been great this last little bit. I'll explain more about that when we get to the hotel, I think. But I'm pausing here because we're at a lock on the canal, on the river. And I'm reading the sign here. I'll just turn it round so you can read. But it's generating power.
So Mittlerer Donau Kraftwerk, Laufwasserkraftwerk Höchstädt, and Höchstädt is our destination today. In Betriebnahme, so I think installed in 1982. Generatoren, so 2 generators, Kaplan turbines 2, Leistung in Kilowatt Gesamt, so 10,000 kilowatts. Jahreserzeugung, I don't know what that is. Rund is round, 61.6 million kilowatt hours. Strombedarf, I don't know what that is. Von Rund of the round, 17,600, so I think that's 17,600 households, Haushalten. CO2 Vermeidung pro Jahr, so maybe that's
CO2 savings.
yeah. 42,800 tonnes. Oops, I turned my camera. Not quite sure what the rest is. But I thought that was interesting, and it's just behind us over there. Not a lot to see right now, but they're scattered, you know, every couple of miles along the Danube. But interesting. So very eco-friendly. Oh, quite a bit of logging around here. As Neill says, another castle. Yeah, it's these trucks that are the problem. And the one I had issue with had a trailer just as big as the truck. Here we go. Very pretty though. We'll go round it all round.
So to explain, as we were leaving Dillingen, we came out of the town down a hill, and the road was quite busy. There wasn't a separated cycle path. And a truck came past. It gave me loads of room, but oncoming traffic forced it to pull in, and as it pulled closer, I was panicking. Am I going to get squeezed? Am I going to get hit? And I tried to mount the ramp where a driveway was onto the sidewalk, and there was just a little bit of a lip that was enough to catch my front wheel and throw me off my bike. Oh, I came down like a sack of spuds on my knees. Oh, they were sore. I was quite shaken up.
Cafe in the Schloss, it says it should be open because it's 4 o'clock. Bezirk Schwaben, Außenstelle Höchstädt, Sozialverwaltung, Hilfe zur Pflege. And that's the castle.
When I got home, I had to look up the Battle of Blenheim, which this castle formed a significant part, or at least a part in. The Battle of Blenheim was part of the War of the Spanish Succession, and it was all about the Duke of Marlborough trying to protect Vienna from being caught or captured by the French and the Spanish, and he realised the importance of the Danube River. So they had a battle in what the English would call Blenheim, but what the Germans call Blindheim, which is a small village just down the road from Höchstädt, and we actually cycled through it the next day. What I found interesting was, obviously, the Allies were successful. The Duke of Marlborough, on his return to England, was lauded as a hero, and Queen Anne said, "You've done such a great job, I'm going to give you some land, and I'm going to give you money." And I think it was of the order of £240,000, which in that day and age was huge. Yeah, £240,000 to build a home. And he did. And it's called Blenheim Palace. Isn't that great? So we arrive at our destination of Höchstädt, and it's a pretty place. There's a beautiful church, and of course we've got to go in and visit, have a look inside the church. Very historic, really, really pretty. We have one of the best meals we've had in quite a while at the Poseidon restaurant, which is right next to the church. And then we head off to our hotel. So Hotel Berg was a bit of a funny place. It was hard to get in. You had to go round the back, and there was another bell, not at the front. They got quite annoyed at us ringing the front doorbell. We had to go to the back. It was very good that it had somewhere to keep our bikes. He had a garage where we could put our bikes in and keep it safe. But he was a bit of a strange guy, and the room, he'd taken the the handle off the hot tap. He really didn't want us to use too much hot water, which was a shame because everything else about the place was very nice. So we've had a very busy day, and it's time to say good night from him and good night from me. Good night.